this particular event, which portrays the Battle of Hastings 1066 between William the Conqueror of Normandy and the Anglo-Saxons here in England.
It's one of the major turning points of the history of the island, really. That's debatable by some historians. I certainly see it as being a major change in the history of Britain. So it's extremely significant.
There isn't really another battle took place on English ground apart from Civil War battles. Wars of the Roses, English Civil War, that kind of thing. But this was the last serious invasion of this country, where England got the silver medal.
Probably nothing afterwards until the First and Second World War really affected the country in terms of social change, especially social change. The transition from Saxon to Norman was quite severe, really.
I am Norman, you know, and it's a very important part of Norman history. And so I'm here for sell some little stuff, and of course for fight, for victory.
Most people in this part of the camp came from Germany. There are some Dutch people, and I think we've got 2 Russians in there. It's quite international. I've seen some Australians and I've seen Americans, and basically it's people from Europe, but there's some from other continents as well.
Well, we're just a reenactor group from Hanover in Germany. We were invited as a reenactor group, and we came here with 4 people and some other members of the Franco-Flemish contingent of other parts of Germany, some of the Ruhrpott, Cologne, France, and we are on the Norman side.
It's nice to see the European involved here. It's very good to see. It's part of Europe's history as well as Britain's.
I guess it all started some 20-25 years ago with Prince Valiant. And then of course you see movies like Conan the Barbarian and stuff like that. And I was always wondering if there were more people crazy like me, and by accident I met somebody who was selling swords, and I asked him what were they for. And he said there are loads of reenactors, and I had no clue what reenactment was, and so he told me, and that was the beginning.
It's interesting actually getting out there and doing it and seeing how people lived. It's a completely different kind of warfare. It's personal, you're up close, your enemy's in your face.
Of course, there are all the fantasy role players who have these styrofoam swords, but let's face it, that's not sexy, is it? I mean, you want steel, you want the sound of steel, a shiny steel. That's really nice, isn't it? It's very easy in Europe because you can easily meet other people when you go to these reenactments, and then you just choose what you like to do.
It's a lifetime interest. I've always been interested in history, and this era especially being my home country, as it were. I'm new to the actual reenactment scene as such, but the history is not a new thing. I'm an archaeologist, 20 years working with archaeology. So.
I'm a member of the Far Isles Medieval Society, so I sort of joined them because I had an interest in that kind of thing through playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then you get into real history, that kind of thing.
The wife and I ran a riding school for quite a few years, which became boring. We competed, and in the process of going around the various competitions, we met up with people that were in reenacting, and some bright spark said it'd be a good idea to use your horses for cavalry work. And that was it. Within 6 months, we were completely hooked.
People who do this in our group used to compete show jumping, eventing, dressage, that kind of thing. And we just find this a change. It makes a big change, and it's relaxing, fun to do, and there's not the pressure of competition.
Norman Knights of William the Conqueror.
William's gonna win! You can't change history!
We are from the Franco-Flemish contingent here at Hastings on the right flank of the Norman army, and we are here to conquer England.
Well, my role is I'm a monk from the Order of the Benedictines, and my role is just to be on the battlefield and to bless people and, well, to give them the last ointment, so to say.
And we're the Franconian contingent, and we were like poor guys come over from far, far away just to kick the Saxon into their okay, for win. Beep. For victory. For victory, right. Yeah.
Okay. This is a poor Saxon's kit in reality. The cloth's linen, dull colours, no inserts, no fancy pieces other than the strap ends. Everything's very basic, handmade. The helmet's handmade, as a poor Saxon would have had, rather than the very fancy trim. And the axe is our classic weapon, really, the Saxon weapon.
I'll have my longbow and I'll have a quiver full of arrows, my axe for chopping wood, pouch for coins, and here I have a long knife. If I'm pressed too hard by the Saxons and I can't run away, I'll have to fight with that. I don't think I stand much chance against someone in armour with a sword, but needs must.
This is a mail shirt. It's supposed to protect from the cuts.
Yes.
But under the mail shirt you have to wear the gambison, which is a padded costume, which actually stop to be hurt from the heat. You know? If you wear only the mail shirt, it's going to stop the cut, but it won't stop the heat. You can break your bones and everything. So if you wear this, it's padded, so you're protected for everything. Well, you're supposed to be protected for everything.
The fighting system evolved about 20 years ago in Britain out of just show fighting, and by now it's become a martial art of its own. It's got some absurdities, of course, because we go into big battles, but we don't want to hurt each other.
What we try to do is to just point in the air most of the time. And perhaps only if an infantryman has his shield really right in front of him, you can have a little stab at him. But that's about it. I think the safety standards are quite good here.
In fact, I was saying this morning, I was surprised how the standard of horsemanship has come on in reenactment in this country. If you'd tried to put together 50, 60, 70 horsemen 10 years ago, to do what's been done today, you'd have just seen absolute chaos, people falling over and falling off horses, and it's just been a nightmare.
I've seen a few riders who really had big problems with controlling their horses, and still they did it all right. So that's really pure horsemanship, really.
People have put a lot of time and effort into it these days, and practiced and learned to ride a horse with the reins in one hand and the weapon in the other. And it is difficult, but it's learnable, and people are learning to do it, and they're spending time doing it. And I think I was quite impressed with the standard of it today.
I play all over Europe, doing bicentennials of battles, and there is nothing like the buzz you get on an original battlefield. You just add extra buzz from it.
To actually stand on the actual site of the battle, face a large number of people, you know they're not actually going to try and kill you, but nonetheless you get some of the sense of what the history must have been like.
Real. It's real. Yeah, it's real. That's real life.
More than a movie or book or
right.
Or everything else.
That's why we are here for.
It's hands-on, it's tactile. You've got taste and smell and temperature, as well as just visual stimulus, really. That's certainly why people come to watch us. That's why we do it.
For the spectators, I think, again, seeing things in real life is just that little bit different from seeing it on television.
And it's keeping history alive. There's a tendency for history to be forgotten or glamorised nowadays, which we just like to keep it going, really.
With all this outfit and with all the yelling on the field and everything, you really get a cool feeling. It's like the holodeck on the Enterprise. Yeah, it's the program I would choose.
So it's just going to be a lot of fun, just whizzing up the hill and hitting people with swords and clubs and things like that. It should be a jolly afternoon, Jay.
I think a lot of it is escapism. You go out and play, you're not yourself anymore, are you? You're someone else. And you've got no worries, no concerns, it's just you. And a good fight at the end of the day, you know, and something you can talk about in the tavern at the end of the night as well, over a few beers.
And there are many hobbies these days, most of them involve being sat at home playing with electronics of some sort. This is real hands-on stuff, where you take the same risks and gambles, maybe not quite to the same degree as the original people did, and there's nothing better than learning old skills, relearning old skills.
For the people who do the reenactment, I think it's partly, you know, just to escape for a while, and possibly it's the same thing for the people who come to watch.
We are sort of fugitives from present time, and we went into a time where we think that things were simpler.
And there's always a hardcore of people who just want to relive the past, I think.
Just have a look. There is a lot of people who come here for see the kind of events. I think it will be more popular. Yeah, I think so.
And I think it's just the adrenaline of it all and just escaping reality. To get away from what's out there, get away from your bills, your mortgage, and come and camp out in the field for 3 days, get extremely drunk and go out and fight on the battlefield.